child like no other, written by Maxim. When I first joined the case at 47 County Street, I didn't know what to expect. As a social worker, I see all kinds of screwed up things, from child abuse to children abusing their parents. Yet, when I got the reports of that household, I wasn't expecting much. The initial letters we received were from a neighbor describing loud noises, shouting in the late hours of the night, and a teenager storming off from the household on a bike late last winter, just after they heard the sounds of glass shattering from within the house. This had apparently been going on for a few years. Still, something about the way the cops came in on Tuesday, white as sheets, asking about the case, probably should have set off some sort of alarms. I was ignorant. There I stood in the living room of the Bedford family home on County Street, beside myself as the story unfolded. Dan, the father of 3 children, spoke first, with tears in his eyes. "I'm so glad somebody called on us. My wife and I would have never had the courage to contact anyone about this." This struck me as odd, seeing most people don't want authorities or social service knocking at their door. "Can I offer you some water? Coffee, maybe?" That's what Valerie, Dan's wife, asked me in a hushed voice. They looked exhausted and unbathed, like they've been stranded on an island for weeks and they were just rescued by me. They seemed indifferent about their surroundings, calm at the moment, but the tension was kinetic. "Tell me, as we need to get started here, what are your children's names and how old are they?" I already knew this information, but I needed to survey how these 2 reacted to questioning. Valerie answered me. "Well, Damien's 17. He dropped out of school last week, but he's not here today. Then there's my little sweetheart, Kelsey. She's 11. She's with her grandmother for the weekend." "It's Tuesday, ma'am." "Oh, right. I'm sorry. She's with her aunt. I lose track since they're never here anymore. She'll be home soon, though." Her husband stared at her intently, almost not staring at her at all, more like through her. I took note of all this. "Please note that you're being recorded for this interview. I apologize if I'm mistaken, but my file says that you have a 3rd child." They both stared coolly into my eyes. A chill ran up my spine, and my left leg went numb. This is a feeling I would get as a child if I ever made a joke that offended someone. Except now, at 34, I suddenly felt out of place. "Jessica." They both spoke in unison. I relaxed slightly. "Jessica. Okay, yes, I have that here. 7 years old?" They nodded together, their faces twisted in an uncomfortable expression, but suddenly wringing their hands. Dan glanced at the staircase to his left, I guess to slightly signal as to Jessica's whereabouts. "She's up there," Valerie told me, sobbing. A pang hit my heart like knuckles to a tetherball. I could feel my emotions swirling around my ribs. My stomach started to turn. "Excellent. Can I meet her?" I asked stiffly. "Yes, but..." Valerie wiped her nose with a tissue and looked at the stairs. "But you have to go get her." Another odd feeling. I was beginning to get suspicious, but I wasn't sure what I was getting suspicious of. These 2 seemed like a train wreck, and I was certainly one to judge. Still, they didn't seem like bad people. They felt like victims to me. I decided to accept their request. "Okay, where upstairs is she? In her room?" I scratched the back of my neck, as I do when I'm not comfortable. "Yeah." They both answered at the same time. I stared at both of them for a bit before standing up and heading up towards the stairs. Clang! My heart jumped as my foot hit some metal across the floor. I looked down to see an empty pet dish of some kind. Don't worry. Sorry about that. Dan picked up the dish from the floor. That's our cat, Evie's dish. I nodded, but I didn't respond. I just climbed the stairs to the top floor. The creaks of the steps were eerie and loud as I made my way up to the dim, badly lit hallway. I couldn't quite collect my thoughts. There was something strange going on, but I don't know what. Why were they sending me up to meet with their daughter? Why couldn't they retrieve her for me? Why did I accept their request? Upon checking the long hallway, I noticed one door at the end. It was bedazzled with stickers and letters, appearing to be a very normal young girl's room. The letters spelled out Jessica's name, except the S next to the E was missing. I also noticed that it appeared that no light was coming from within the bedroom. I was taking mental notes of everything from my report. I opted for knocking on the door out of respect, but received no reply. After 3 or 4 tries, I decided to just open it, figuring that they were wrong about her whereabouts. The door slowly creaked open under the grip of my left hand. My other hand clutched my clipboard, perhaps tighter than it should have. Just as I expected, the room was dark. Only a small amount of moonlight shined in from the cool autumn night. I found a switch on the left and clicked it on. Holy hell! My heart skipped a beat. Just as I saw in the center of the room was unexpected. A little girl with dark brown hair sat cross-legged on the bed, smiling at me. I didn't notice her before, with the lights off. I was startled, but I couldn't be stirred. I'm sorry, Jessica? I didn't think anyone was up here. Hi, is all she said, still smiling at me. Hi, I'm here talking with your parents, and they told me you'd be up here. I just need to ask some questions. Is that okay, Jessica? Is this like a game? She asked. Her smile never left her face. The problem is, what seemed like a happy smile at first suddenly seemed a little off. I'm not sure what the feeling I was getting, but definitely made me unnerved. Not exactly, but it would only take a minute. She just stared at me, her off-kiltered smile never changing. I moved towards the dresser across from her bed and pulled out my pen. Jessica, how are you feeling today? Hungry. I blinked a couple times. Hungry? Huh. Okay. Haven't you had dinner yet? It's pretty late right now. They had dinner, but I feed myself. I blinked at her again. They don't feed you? It's okay. I eat whenever I want. That smile on her face, it sends chills down my back, much cooler than the air outside. I cleared my throat a little. Do you like your parents? I asked. I used to. She tipped her head down a little bit, looking at me with her neck arched, still grinning as ever. Jessica, I need to get the full story here, so I can make sure we find out what's going on, okay? If you're honest, I can help you. Still smiling away, she nodded. Where are your brother and sister today? She didn't reply. I noticed the cat jumped onto the bed and lay by the post. It was staring up at Jessica. Oh, I see you have a little friend. Do you like your cat? Jessica's grin grew wider and her eyes flashed with mischief. Then she tilted her head to the side and spoke, but not with her own voice. This voice was deeper and gravely. "I'm hungry." And that's when she snatched the cat from the bed and pulled its neck to her mouth. She crunched down, causing the poor little thing to hiss and screech with agony. I gasped as I flew back against the dresser. Jessica tilted her head back and gave the most maniacal laugh I've ever heard in my life. Blood was dripping from her teeth and lips. She took the cat in both hands as the blood splattered onto the bed. Then I heard the snapping sound, and the poor creature went silent. Jessica flopped down onto her stomach, continuing to bite into the cat's fur and flesh. I could hear her lips, teeth, and smacking and crunching. That's when I puked all over the floor. After spilling my guts, I lunged to the doorway, colliding against the opposite wall, just outside. I stumbled and stomped my way back downstairs to where Dan and Valerie were sitting. They both just looked up at me, obviously knowing that I had just witnessed the reason for their strange behavior. I looked back at them, not one of us saying a word for the longest moment. Finally, making my way to the door, Valerie spoke. "Wait," she exclaimed. I turned around, my hand on the doorknob, fear still present in my watery face. Valerie looked at me with the saddest face, gripping her husband's hand so tight, and said, "Aren't you going to help us?" Thank you, everybody, for listening to my very first Creepypasta. I hoped you enjoyed it. And I know, please like, comment, subscribe if you feel like it. And I hope to do this again very soon. Goodbye.